Hey everyone, Mark here at the Action Figuratorium, and if you didn't know, now you know, the $400 action figure from HasLab, the Galactus, has made its target crowdfunding number. In fact, it crushed it by like a lot. And what does that mean? Well, it means you're going to be able to buy one of these Galactus action figures for less than people paid for them new on HasLab. How, you ask? Find out. Back again, here we are talking about the Galactus action figure, something that has been foisted on the toy community, toy collecting community, the Marvel Legends collecting community at 400 bucks. If you've missed my previous video, my previous Toy Talk video where I talk about the success of HasLab projects, they must A, have a large collecting audience, B, offer something physically big that they can charge hundreds of dollars for, and C, it has to be something unique. So this definitely fits in with that. A lot of people collect Marvel Legends. This thing is huge. It also has a lot of articulation, specifically in the hands, about 20 per hand, meaning it can do all sorts of, you know, this kind of stuff. And I don't know if they've ever done a figure this big. They have other Galacti out there that are pretty large, but this thing is mammoth. So let's go over to the page here where we can see that they needed 14,000 backers. Now I believe a backer is, and I could be wrong on this, I believe that a backer is an individual sale and not an individual person. That is, this number right here is the number sold. That is what I'm basing my video on, that this is not the amount of people who purchased. These are the amount of units they sold. They need to sell X amount of units, i.e. this much, for this thing to get made, to cover the costs and make enough money that the people at Hasbro and HasLab feel is satisfactory to their business model, something that's been going on for a couple of years, and maybe they don't really know exactly what their business model is because they're just kind of going and making this up as they go along. I'll talk about that later, what I think these guys should be doing moving forward. So this guy easily crushed the 14,000 at 32,000 and some change. Now, if you were watching this campaign and you looked about 3 or 4 days before it closed, you'd see that it hadn't hit the $14,000 mark. And then all of a sudden, when it did, everybody realized that this was going to get made, and everybody then who was holding back realized that they had to get one and maybe another one. And so everybody came and threw down a lot, and they ended up hitting all the stretch goals. Now, the stretch goals give you some action figures, some 6-inch guys, and they're guys that you could probably get before and you'll probably be able to get again. And there's nothing, as far as I can tell, there's nothing amazing or crazy about them that made me absolutely want to have to spend as much as I would on this thing to get the toys. Okay, so here's what I wanted to talk about then regarding this figure, is that there is a mentality I've been seeing on the toy collector video sites and people's YouTube videos, and the overall chatter amongst comments is that everybody is going to buy one for themselves, perhaps to take out and play with and display, and that everyone is going to take the second one that they bought and they are going to sell that, and the cost of that will pay for the first one. That is, everybody thinks, right? Let's go to this number here. See this number here? Everybody thinks that they're going to get theirs free if they buy 2 and sell 1. What these people do not understand is that everyone is doing this, and there are now going to be a ton of Galactus action figures out there looking for their homes. They're going to be looking for their homes. They're orphaned. They are not going to sell. Why? Because the supply is huge. It is gargantuan. Now, there are going to be a lot of these that get put away that are kept for people's personal collections. There's going to be some people resellers out there who bought a couple, and they're playing what I call the long con. They're going to take them out of circulation. They're going to put them somewhere for 20, 30, 40 years. Those are just going to disappear. It's going to be like that grandma with the 54 Telecaster up in the attic, okay? So someone's going to like do a video in the future where they unearth one of these Galactus, and they're like, we didn't know these even existed, right? Don't worry, it'll happen. There are few of these are going to go away. For the most part, everyone bought multiples to resell to pay for theirs, which means they're not going to sell them and get enough money to pay for theirs, which means they're going to just try to break even on the second one. They're going to say, I bought one for me, I'm going to enjoy it, I spent the $400, I'm going to take the second one, I'm going to sell that, I'm just going to get my money back so that I'm not out $800, I'm out $400. And as it goes on, as the clock ticks around and these guys who bought them to resell, when they cannot find buyers, they're going to start saying, well, I need to recoup as much money of mine as I can. I just need to get close, which means you will be able to buy one of these things for less than $3.99. Now, how much, right? Does that mean $3.98, $2.99, $1.99, $100? Are you going to be able to pick these up for $100? Probably not. There's a certain point in which if it goes too far below, other people will just start buying them to try and sort of take control of the supply, right? Limit the amount that are out there, pull them out of circulation, buy them cheap if they have the capital and sit on them because they're so focused on trying to make Galactus work for them that they're going to, people try to snap these up. So my opinion is that you're definitely, if you didn't buy one of these, you're definitely be able to get one for less than $3.99. How much below $3.99, right? I would say, realistically, $350 for one of these when you realize that there is a lot of them. A lot of them. And you might find them for sale in weird places too. You might find it for sale on Craigslist with local pickup because the person doesn't want to deal with the shipping. The shipping, of course, bumps the price up to an insane amount. So local place, if you're in like a city, I'd say like, Orange County, if you live there, you'll probably be able to get one for $200 from somebody who bought 7, and they need $200 that money to cover, some bill they have or something like that. So that's my thoughts on how the long con people are going to snap them up. But there's so many of them that people are going to try to sell them to recoup some of their money. And so we're going to see that with a massive amount of these things, the price is going to go way down. Now, if I'm wrong, feel free to roast in the comments. Why? Because YouTube loves comments, and I don't care what's in the comments, really. I mean, clearly, you've looked at the other comments. You can see that I don't care. So throw that in the comments. Roast if you want. I don't care. They're going to go below $3.99. They're going to go to $3.50 reselling on eBay. Then they're going to disappear for a while and they'll spike back up, in which case we'll have a stock that trades and goes up and down with time, and we'll figure out what they really sell for. Probably realistically after this first wave comes out of people trying to resell and then the price bottoms out, you're probably going to see these things realistically be about $500 to $600 in about 2 years from now, but or actually 2 years from when they come out. I think estimated shipping is, let's take a look. What does this say here? Fall 2022. They'll probably be out before then because they'll make a big deal and like, oh, you're getting your toys getting earlier. If you backed it first, you get yours first. They'll do trust me, there's PR in all of this. There's a story in everything here. It's nothing but sales gimmicks and tactics. That's what you're gonna see with the shipping on this. So 2024, these things will be $550. Assuming that inflation is we're same dollar amount things are worth as they are now. They'll probably be worth, who knows, if the dollar stays the same. If it continues to crash, then who knows, maybe these things will become like 800 bucks and $800 will be nothing to people, so who knows. So last thing I wanted to talk about in terms of the Galactus action figure from HasLab, and what I think that the HasLab people should do going forward, and why I think that this was kind of a mistake, that mistakes were made on this. I think they did some dumb things. I think they blundered. I think that they're working really hard to try to figure out what it is that they do at HasLab and justify their salaries and their workforce and who they have on and how many projects. I think that they're trying to sort this thing out. It's because it's supposed to be kind of a skunk works, but it needs to run like a business. And so these numbers and stuff like this, you know, they're like once the ideas, the easy ideas, like the Razor Crests and things like that run out, you're going to see these guys struggle to come up with stuff that gets people interested. So what I want to talk about this Galactus figure here is that I think, and a shout out here to YouTuber Iron Ken 3000. I really enjoy your videos and how you go out in the field and you roll film and you check out what toys are actually hanging on the pegs. And you're very realistic and down to earth when it comes to collecting these toys. And you call it, man, this thing is too expensive and they should be called HasScam. That was your term, buddy, the HasScam. And I agree. I think this thing is too expensive. And the reason why I think it is too expensive is because it has a lot of stuff that the average person doesn't want, and doesn't care about, and doesn't need. Now, it does make it cool. I can see why the price is why it is because of it. I'm not saying that by adding articulated hands, right, that you're not allowed to then charge more. I feel as if you need an excuse to charge more, so you added the articulated hands. Now, what should really happen with something like this is you should have made a generic vanilla Galactus body, just a stock dude who with enough articulation to where it's cool. It's not like broken or anything like that. I don't want a light version. I don't want crippleware. I don't want anything like that. I want it to be fully working, full blown. The paint job in this photo here is, it looks amazing. These photos with the space backgrounds, these look phenomenal. I mean, I would love to have this figure for this alone. I think it's really striking piece of plastic, piece of pop culture sculpture. It's very cool. I'm not saying it sucks by any means. It's great. Just feel like it's not worth 400 of my dollars into something like this. So what I think would help would be if it had a generic body, and then you let people purchase on the HasLab site, purchase your add-ons for what you want and what you think is cool, and let you pick, and then let you also foot the bill, okay? Not everyone else, let people foot the bill. So if you want to get the articulated hands that can pick up a 6-inch figure and do something stupid with it, okay, you pay for them, right? You throw in the 125 bucks for the hands. If you want the faceplates, okay, order them, get the faceplates. You know, I don't really need the faceplates. I thought some of them were dumb. I actually didn't want to buy this because they were giving me stuff I didn't want. And there's a lot of stuff like this, right? And there's a lot of other add-ons that they could put with this. And also, they print up as many as, you know, their minimum order that it takes for the factory in China to crank out the hands or whatever. And you put them in the store and you sell them as add-ons and you sell them until you run out. People will be buying and selling this thing for years down the road. A guy may get one 2 years from when this thing comes out, in which case, at that point, he might want to buy a pair of hands for it. If they're still available from HasLab, he can buy them and get the last remaining pair. Eventually, license it out to a third party. Let someone else make the hands or the faceplates or a cape or a star map or something like that. So I think it needs to be a generic body for a low price. I think it needs to be $1.99, $199 is what I'm, right? And that way, let 50,000 people buy it. Let there be 50,000 of these things out there for 200 bucks, and then let people sort of dribble out money for all the fixins and buy all the, you know, the clear coating or whatever they want on it. And then eventually let third parties license to make officially licensed, you know, marble pieces for your overlarge Galactus figure. Okay, so the second thing I wanted to talk about was that the add-ons for this are, in my opinion, super lame. This has got to be one of the, from a company like Hasbro, the figures you get with it. Let's switch back over to, whoa, hey there. Let's switch back over to, I don't even know what we're doing anymore. To this, let's look at this. Wish I could make this bigger. Actually, I'll be honest, it's a little too big as is. So there's a Silver Surfer guy here. I don't know if you can see the cursor. There's Nova, and then there's this guy, some kind of a young, spry Hulk Hogan looking dude. I don't know who these characters are. It's all dumb. And and so when enough people bought, like, you know, God, what is it? Did they tell me what you get? At 14,000, 16,000, yeah, here it is. So 16,000 units, you get Nova. At 17,000, you got Silver Surfer. 20,000, you got Mora. And then I don't know what the Head of Doom thing is. Maybe it's another piece for Galactus. That's really dumb. Those figures are dumb because you sell those figures all the time. That's your main business. Your main business is selling Marvel Legends action figures. You wasted a huge opportunity. You could have made an entire wave of Galactus heralds that you would use the sale of the giant Galactus for people to buy the wave. People would be buying the entire wave of these figures. Because there are people buying the Galactus figure who probably don't even buy Marvel Legends. They just see it as some giant, huge, cool thing that everyone else is jumping on board with. And they gotta have one. They have not, you know, they don't even know who the character was. So get rid of the figures, put them out in a regular Galactus wave that's meant to go with this. When this thing launches, you launch your Marvel Legends wave, you sell, that drives people to buy the toys for the figure. Okay, also I think that when these print this Galactus up, they're gonna make more than 32,000 of these things. There's gonna be some extra. There's gonna be some that fall off the truck. Also, I can't wait to see the cool Chinese bootleg, to when, like, the factory that makes these takes the molds and then they make their own weird, cheaper version, and maybe he's like a little green or something. There's a little, you look at it and you're like, this is a little off. What's going on here? So don't do figures for your add-ons for your different tiers. Super dumb. You wasted a huge opportunity. Do something really cool and something really unique for the Galactus figure itself. You know, that's the thing that you should have came up with, something really interesting. You should have poured through the comics to find the cool stuff that goes with it that you can't get anywhere else, not just another action figure that we've seen. How many Silver Surfers are already out there? Nobody cares. No one cares. Dumb. Totally dumb. Wasted. Should have found something really unique and obscure, and drive home the third thing of what I said what makes a successful HasLab project. Something unique. Come up with something unique. You would have sold more than 32,000. You would have sold 50,000. So, generic body, lots of add-ons, something unique for the tiers, not action figures. Dumb idea. I know, you're like, well, I love action figures. Yeah, we know you love action figures. You're going to buy them anyways. You'd buy the, it's already a sale. You've wasted a sale. Wasted a sale that was going to happen regardless. You blew it, right? And then finally, drop the price of this thing, $199, and get rid of the fixins. Get rid of the gravy, right? Get rid of the, they don't even get a mashed potato, they just get a potato, okay? You tell them you mash it. We're not gonna mash it, you mash the potato, right? So, that's it for this episode of the Action Figuratorium, where I just talk mad trash. This is what I think about the Galactus, and I hope you agree, and if you don't agree, feel free to roast in the comments. But also look for my Instagram channel, where I post interesting toy pics that I take here in the studio, and we'll be throwing out some Galactus picks. As this thing eventually launches one day, whatever year that is, it'll be late. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be early, and they're going to do PR on how early they were able to get it, because this thing already went into production. I guarantee this went into production before they even hit launch on the web campaign. Trust me on this. That's how long it takes for these things to happen. So hope you enjoyed this, and we'll catch you on the next one.